So last year at HOTHCON, I talked a lot about work and a lot about productivity and efficiency. Um, and this year, building on some of the things that Rachel talked about, I wanted to talk about the future. And the future is not just Hoth Blogger. The future is a whole suite of content products that are going to be available to our clients. We at the Hoth are working towards offering more products, more services, more solutions for our clients. And in turn, what that means is more work opportunities for you all. That means that the more that we can offer our clients, the more opportunities that you have to build your skill sets and to diversify your income and to break up your day-to-day so that you're not sitting there writing your 10th article of the day. Maybe you're jumping into QC, you're jumping into topics, or some totally new content product that we haven't built yet. And I'll get to that a little bit later. So really, the main thrust of the Hoth right now is growth. We as a company have been having more frequent weekly meetings about how everybody at the Hoth can bring forward big, bold, innovative ideas. And like Rachel said, the US workforce is changing, and it's changing fast. By 2027, an estimated 50% of US workforce will be freelance. 54% of freelancers have no interest in going back to traditional work. Screw 9 to 5, right? And the average freelancer reaches their income goal within 2 years, and 42% within 1 year. That's pretty amazing stuff. Has anybody reached their income goal within 1 or 2 years? That's awesome. Some more stats for you, some more food for thought. 70% of businesses are using some form of content marketing, and 64% of B2B marketers are outsourcing their writing. Rachel spoke about overhead. We couldn't possibly afford health insurance and Keurig K-Cups and all of the resources that would be necessary to house 200 writers like we did in January of 2018, or 400 writers like we have in January of 2019, or 1,000 writers like we want to have in January of 2020. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, right? That's the goal. So 78% of CMOs believe that custom content is the future of marketing. What is the point of all of this? You're not going anywhere. If you will indulge me, I don't ever get to start chants, so. And I won't have another opportunity for this until next year. So I'm gonna say, where are you going? You say nowhere. Where are you going?
Nowhere.
Where are you going?
Nowhere.
Thank you. There may be more of that. So you may be thinking in this industry where 50% of the US workforce may be freelancing in the next 10 years, and where more and more people are gonna be jumping in with 2 feet. What do I do, right? How do I expand my skill set to pick up more work opportunities, right? Well, you become a goddamn ninja. You become a goddamn content ninja, to be more specific. You know, the more skills you have, obviously, the more work that you can capture, and the more work equals more money. And if you're like me at all, more money also equals more craft beer. So that doesn't suck either. You know, it is still January, so I was hoping we could maybe talk about resolutions for just a moment. Whose resolution was it to make more money this year than last? To learn a new skill? To grow in your career? Does anybody else have one specifically that they'd like to share? Christian? Travel. Nice. Anybody else? Steph?
My goal every single year is go somewhere new.
Very cool. What's on the list this year?
Probably either Ireland or Scotland.
Very cool.
Yep.
Anna?
Mine is to create a new niche, to become an expert in a new niche. And it's actually not a new niche for me, but it is for writing.
Mm-hmm.
I got a degree in finance and I've always loved it, so I want to master that niche this year.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. We definitely need more experts in finance. So that's amazing. So how we,
Turn me down, but I want to change that.
hey. So these resolutions, these goals, they don't come out of nowhere, right? What do we need to do to achieve them? We We need to build a roadmap. We need to build a set of goals and achievements. So what I want to talk about today is building your roadmap. I want to talk about how you can identify your options and prioritize, compare those options against your skills and your interests and your values. Consider any unique factors like staying at home and taking care of kids or other loved ones. And ultimately setting SMART goals. Does anybody know what SMART goals are? Yes, Lauren.
They're goals that are specific, measurable, achievable. I always forget R, which is bad. Realistic. Thank you. Realistic. There's probably a reason I forget R. And timely.
Very good, very good. That was very close. Great, give her a hand. That was great. Very close. You got most of them. So, specific. Identify your goal clearly and specifically. Measurable, including clear criteria to determine progress and achievement of those goals. Attainable. So your goal should have a greater than 50% chance of occurring, right? So maybe your goal isn't make $1 million this year. Maybe it's make $500,000. Relevant, they should be important to you. And time-bound. Just set a specific time frame to achieve these goals. I threw a couple examples together just so you could make this a little bit more concrete. Maybe your goal is to earn $1,000 a week by Q1, to grow your client base to 5 regularly contracted clients, or learn a new skill like Photoshop and offer design services. What's your goal? What do you want to be doing in 6 months? How much money would you like to be making in the next year or 3 years? Would anybody like to share their goals? More? More? More. Enough. Nice. Anybody else? 20,000 more. $1 billion. Right. You know, and it's not just you all. This is not homework for you. We're doing it too. I want to share some of my goals. And a couple of these are personal, like improving my photography skills and launching a website for myself to put them somewhere. But it's also growing our Blogger Pro team. We have about 50 to 60 writers right now. A major goal of mine is to build that to 100 and beyond. An on-page content product. This is a huge solution that our clients are looking for. And just like last year where we doubled our team from 200 to 400, my goal is to not only double our team from 400 to 800, but hit 1,000 blogger writers by the end of the year. This is what I want you. I want this to be you. Looking at this year for more money, skills, development, and job opportunities versus your last year's self. So how are we going to do this? We're going to create a plan. Write it down, cross them off, and profit. An example of this, simple spreadsheet, you could build something like this in Excel or Google Sheets. I really want you to think about what you want at the HOTH and beyond. Really build a career plan for yourselves. You know, it's pretty easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, and then you put your head down and you get all of the things done that you want to get done, and then you don't know what day it is, or what week, or what month. A big part of achieving these goals and building new opportunities for yourself is also expanding your skill set, your toolbox. Again, the more that you can add to your skills, the more opportunities and the more money that you can make. I encourage you all to use the HOTH as a platform for whatever goals that you may have, whether that's here or beyond. I have been a reference for many writers on our team, and I would be thrilled to be a reference to anybody here in this room or anybody on HOTH Blogger. You wouldn't be here today, you wouldn't be a part of our team unless you were extremely skilled. And we are so, so very happy and thankful to have you on our team. Another great part of expanding your skill set is diversifying your income. You get to avoid the same tasks over and over. You get to build out your content portfolio, expand your skill set, and fuel up your resume. I talked a lot about last year about optimizing your workflow and efficiency. And a couple things I just wanted to hit again this year was using a system, using a task management system. We use Asana for everything, and it's Rachel's absolute favorite thing. Just ask her about it. I think she's in there. She lives in there. You should be happy that we pulled her away from Asana and put her on stage today. Be honest with yourself about where you get your best work, right? Do you get it in your home office? Or how about a coffee shop or even your couch? And for God's sake, focus on one task at a time. I talked a little bit about multitasking last year and all of its pitfalls. And plug in. This is a major goal of mine as well, putting on a headset and listening to some ambient sounds, a babbling brook, and really getting into the weeds and solving problems and building new things. Part of this is also avoiding burnout. We don't want any one of you to burn out. And, another way that you could do that is by mixing it up. So you jump into editing for a bit. I know that a lot of you, anybody on the QC team here? Many of you, yeah? Why did you want to get into QC or topic creation?
Because I wanted to advance the company, and I specifically wanted to, well, I like topics because I learned a lot more about SEO, but
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be an editor, just kind of advance my position as a writer, but I also get to read all of your amazing work.
Exactly.
So that itself became a treasure.
Perfect.
Yes.
Reading all of your amazing work was another thing that I enjoyed quite a lot when I was first part of the HOTH. I was QCing your work as well for a good little period when I first joined. So all of these opportunities to avoid burnout can be achieved through using the HOTH as a platform to your goals. I know many of you have looked for opportunities. We like to call them HOTH-opportunities. Anywhere where we could fit the word HOTH into another word, we're going to do it. Like the HOTHists and all kinds of weird nonsense. That's what we call it. And to give you an overview, these are some of the current positions that we have. Blogger Pro, like I mentioned, we really want to build out this team to offer our clients the best possible deliverable they could get for their content marketing needs and their campaigns. There's topics, there's QC, there's getting into script writing. Danielle will be speaking tomorrow, and you'll be able to get in touch with her if that's something that interests you. There's on-page reporting, WordPress implementation, video talent, TL. There's so many different things that you can do in the HOTH platform. And if you don't know, now you know. But wait, there's more. And this is my Billy Mays moment here, guys. So this is big for me. We're also working on creating new opportunities, not only for us and for our clients, but for you all. So what else is cooking? We're working on building out a cornerstone content product, web copy, product descriptions, press release. The more and more solutions we can offer our clients equal more and more opportunities for you all as well. So those of you, does anybody love 2,000-word articles?
Depends what they're about.
Depends. Well, Cornerstone's more like 4,000 words. Because target audiences and Google has determined that that's where the industry is going. These big, chunky, long-form pieces of content that could be linkable assets for our clients. That is where the industry is going. I wanted to talk a little bit also about our ecosystem at the HOTH platform. We have over 150 members in our Slack. We have nearly 400 people on our Facebook group as well. The community piece of the Hoth is really, I think, what sets us apart. So if you want to find out about publishing a novel, maybe you ask Eric, who just did it a couple weeks ago. Or Stephanie as well. If you want to build a YouTube audience and you're not quite sure how to do it, maybe you talk to Jessica, who I know is building a YouTube audience right now. Where else can you tap into an ecosystem where you could speak with countless creatives that are going to offer you tips, advice, their knowledge? It just doesn't happen anywhere else. If you take anything at all today from my presentation, is that I want you to leverage this platform to whatever goals that you may have. I had a conversation with Mark the other week. I popped my head into his office, asked if he had a quick second, and that minute-long conversation I thought I was going to have quickly turned into 30 minutes, which often does, which I'm very grateful for. And we spoke about the Hoth as a platform. We spoke about it as a platform for myself, for my career goals and what I want to do, and to really be essential and integrated into this system is so very, very powerful. I wanted to end this keynote with one more chant. This has been a saying that kind of has crept up recently. Rachel, again, leading the charge on this one. And this is our year. This is your year. So I'm going to do this one more time because I won't get the chance to do this until January 2020. I'm going to say this is, you're going to say our year. This is our year. This is our year. Thank you very much. We're going to do a Q&A, I believe.
Yeah. Do we have time for questions?
Do you have time?
Cool. So there's a mic up there. If you guys want to ask Ben any questions, you can run on up.
Rachel, would you like to join me?
I don't have a mic, but I'm loud.
Oh. Oh, you took it off. We could stand behind the podium.
I'm Italian. It's fine.
Cool.
Thank you. So, any questions?
Any at all for us? Now is
Favorite foods?
forever hold your peace.
Oh, cool. Or Murray, well, that's kind of far.
Yeah. With the cornerstone content, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be long form pieces. Is there going to be a way that it integrates with existing writing? So, say for example, there's the cornerstone, but then there's supporting pieces. So, is it sold as a package?
That's to be determined. We're going to figure that out. Okay. We're sort of in the early stages of developing that content product. Gotcha. But yeah, there will be much more information to share once we get that product developed.
Okay. Yeah. And by any chance, is it one writer, or is it going to be kind of like more, say, like crowdsourced?
That's an interesting question. It's in the incubator, and it was thought of as to be one writer per, sort of piece. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned. Any other questions? We have a mic up here. That'll make it a little bit easier if you could just use that so she doesn't have to run around. Yeah, go ahead.
For some of these positions, the one that you had on the screens, when will they be available to apply, or can we email you now and inquire, or
so
like right now?
Like right now. We will let you know. Yeah, I know that speaking about future opportunities kind of gets the blood flowing and everything, but you will be in the loop when those opportunities are available to you.
You can always ask questions, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you guys know we're open. You can email anytime. Yeah. But we'll have official announcements when these positions become available.
Cool. April, yes.
For those of us currently building our portfolios, I know a lot of us do ghostwriting, we don't have a byline. Do you have any suggestions on, or like a platform to use? I know some people create like a website for, so if we're marketing ourselves to other, freelance gigs, how do you suggest we put our work together in a portfolio?
Sure.
Any suggestions on that?
I think everybody should have a website,
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. Well, I've been using LinkedIn more, which is great. 'Cause, like, I've been using LinkedIn more because like people are already looking at basically your resume when you're on LinkedIn. So having that clickable portfolio right there. I started LinkedIn was like, write an article, and I was like, okay, LinkedIn. So I did. So it's
Yeah.
pretty easy to publish on there, and it'll show you views and clicks as well.
Awesome.
I've been using Contently.
Contently, that's a popular one as well, yes.
I like how you can like organize how you're putting all of the articles. So the ones you want people to see first, you can put at the top. The ones you don't want them to see until the end, but you still want to have a nice, sort of number their portfolio. And then at the top, they also list how many articles you have and how many clients you've written for. So even if it's just ghostwriting, it still is like a quick way for interested parties to be able to look and sort of see your background and everything else. And it was so easy to use. So
Yeah, that's great.
you can put a description and everything.
Perfect. Contently. Contently. We get a lot of applicants that use that particular platform as well.
Question or answer?
So what are we allowed to link to on the website now, on our portfolio? Because I previously had a URL to like a client's website, and I was told that was not acceptable.
Right.
So what do you suggest for presenting the fact that we wrote it?
Yeah, I mean, you can upload your content to like some other platform, right? But it is ghostwriting. So basically, whatever you need to do to not show that you've written the content for this client, they are using this content as their own. They own it, right? So, I mean, and I think people have offered different solutions here, right? So take the contact us links out, right? You want to kind of edit that information, but you want to make sure that, you can say I ghostwrote this, but I would put it on a different platform and not link directly to the site. Does that make sense? Cool.
Cool. Any other questions? Yeah.
Lucy?
So Rachel told us how she always wanted to write, she went to college for it. But what brought you to it?
More about me.
How did you end up here?
How did I end up here?
At a brewery.
Yeah, that's true. I shared that story. Yeah, I studied English at University of St. Pete, USF. Go Bulls! Yep. Many of the writers on the team have also gone to USF, and I got into fiction writing while I was in community college. Wrote a lot of short stories and fiction, which is a lot of fun. And then once I graduated, I promptly ran away from my hometown, which is St. Petersburg, Florida, and I taught English in Madrid for a year, which was awesome. Yes, Spain is an awesome country, and Madrid is a really beautiful city. And then after a year of that, I was kind of ready to come back here. And I landed a full-time job doing data entry and boring things that I hated. That was not the HOTH, obviously. And I left that job without any plan in place, which is the first time I ever did that. And I ran into Greg, one of the HOTH's account managers at a brewery. Friend of a friend sort of situation. I told him that I just quit my job and I wanted to get into something creative. I wanted to get into editing. And he said, you know what, maybe I have a job for you. And the rest is history. Yeah, that's my little story.
I think we have time for one more question. Allie, yeah.
Don't fall. It's not worth it.
Okay, so I know that you guys have grown your writing team a lot through referrals from existing writers, but if we wanted to continue referring to you, what are some of the qualifications that you look for in a new writer on the team? Like as far as experience level, you guys have such a good process. I think that even inexperienced writers could kind of pick up on it quickly, but what do you guys look for when bringing on new people?
We look for someone that has a personality, which is really refreshing, and someone that can put together just really compelling content. You all do such an amazing job referring other skilled writers already. And like you mentioned, we do have a pretty comprehensive sort of training and onboarding process that kind of gets everybody up to speed. So really just personality is my biggest thing that I look for when I look at applicants.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd say, but an inexperienced writer is fine. Like, I've hired people for the Hoth who sent over like college papers, right?
Right.
If the writing's good, it's good,
Yeah.
and then we basically teach you guys the formatting and stuff and we learn pretty quick who's gonna work out here and who's not, because
Yep.
I think the onboarding process is so comprehensive. But yeah, so to add on to that, if you want to refer friends and they don't have writing experience, that's okay. Have them just send over. The only thing I don't want is poems. People send poems, and I'm like, what?
No
Like,
poems.
this is so not relevant. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can send me your poems, it's fine.
What's your word count on that, Ben?
on the poem? Yeah. Max word count on a poem, maybe like
4,000 words.
yeah, 4,000. Yeah, if I could get some cornerstone content in poem form, that would be great.